When the Scarith Empire began its ruthless march across the stars, world after world fell silent. Their black ships swallowed planets like beasts, leaving behind only smoke and silence. Humanity was still young in space, barely a century into star travel, and already facing extinction. Earth sent out a signal, not of surrender, but a call for help. Most races turned away, too afraid or too proud to join a species so new. But a few answered. The Threx reptilian warriors, known for their brutal hand-to-hand combat, came not for alliance, but to honor an old warrior's prophecy that one day humans would shake the stars. The Valari, soft-spoken beings of light and energy, chose to fight for peace, though they had never held a weapon before. Together, they formed the Coalition of Flame. What followed was not a clean war. Planets were cracked open, fleets lost in burning silence. In the final stand above the dying sun of Ravelon, humans and their new allies faced the Scarith Armada 10 times their size. No one expected them to win, but the Threx roared, the Valari glowed, and humans did not back down. When the stars burned together, the galaxy saw something terrifying. United, Earth would not break. 200 years passed since the final battle against the Scarith, and the galaxy moved into an age of peace, but it was a peace built on forgetfulness. The newer generations saw no war, only trade routes, politics, and shiny empires rising from the ashes. The Coalition of Flame faded from memory in most places, mentioned only in dusty archives or ignored statues on forgotten moons. The Valari returned to their old, peaceful ways, no longer warriors, now teachers and healers once again. The Threx, fewer in number and tired from long battles, withdrew into their shrinking territories, their proud war chants now quiet echoes. Only humanity remembered. On Earth, the names of fallen allies were carved in stone, and the flames of old loyalty still burned in silent halls. Human children were taught about the Threx blades that guarded their ancestors and the Valari lights that mended shattered soldiers. Some called it obsession, others called it stubbornness, but humans called it honor. While other species celebrated progress, humans prepared. They knew peace never lasted forever. And deep in the command rooms of Earth's Space Force, the names of every old ally were still there waiting to be called again, if the stars ever screamed once more. The silence broke with a signal faint, broken, filled with static and fear. It came from a distant Valari colony on the edge of the galaxy, a place long thought safe. The message held only 3 words: they are coming. Within hours, that world went dark. No ships returned. No answers came. The galactic powers hesitated, unsure, afraid to act without certainty. But Earth didn't wait. The humans remembered the Valari, remembered the war, remembered who stood with them when the stars bled. A full fleet launched from the Terran core without asking for approval or reward. When they arrived at the Valari system, they found floating ruins and ash. The enemy was unlike anything recorded: cold, silent machines that moved with perfect coordination, erasing life with unfeeling precision. The Valari defenders had fought, but their energy binders were no match for the machine's disruption fields. Just as the final Valari sanctuary prepared for its end, the sky above them flared. Human warships dropped from orbit like blades from the void, and steel met steel. The Valari watched in disbelief as Terran soldiers fought with rage and precision, not to conquer, but to repay an old debt. The stars echoed again, not with fear, but with the return of fire. The battle had only just begun, but the true test was yet to come. Earth's call for help echoed through the stars, reaching old allies in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Most ignored the plea, caught in their own struggles or blinded by time. Yet from the dark edges of space, a lone Threx cruiser answered. The ship was battered, its markings faded by centuries, but inside burned a fierce pride. Its commander, General Karask, was the son of a warrior who had died protecting humans long ago. He did not come out of duty alone. He came with a promise made by his father and honored by his people. The arrival of the Threx reinvigorated the battered Valari and human forces. Together, they pushed back against the enemy, a cold, calculating machine race called the Nullborn. These machines showed no mercy, no fear, only the ruthless logic of extermination. The Nullborn wiped out entire systems with precision and speed, expecting weakness from the living. But they underestimated one thing: memory. Humans and Threx fought not just with weapons, but with the strength of countless ancestors, a fury fueled by loyalty and respect. The Threx charged with brutal power, smashing through enemy ranks, while humans coordinated strikes that tore the machines apart. Valeri healers surged with new hope, restoring warriors and strengthening shields. The war became a fierce dance of fire and steel, light and darkness. Old songs of honor were sung anew, and the galaxy saw the rekindling of a bond thought lost. The debt once paid in blood was now being returned with the same relentless spirit. Together, they would face the machine storm, and this time, the flames of the Coalition would never die. When the final blast faded and the Nullborn fleet shattered into drifting wrecks, silence returned to the galaxy, but it was a silence heavy with loss and memory. The Valari worlds lay scarred, their once bright cities dimmed by war, and the Threx clans were fewer, their proud voices quieter but not broken. However, stood taller than ever, not because of victory alone, but because it had honored every promise made long ago. Humans did not claim the battle as their own. They shared the glory with those who had fought beside them. In the great halls of Earth's capitals, monuments rose not just to human heroes, but to the alien brothers and sisters who had bled and died. Names carved in stone glowed softly under eternal flames, telling stories of courage that spanned species and centuries. Valeri elders were welcomed as teachers, their light now healing a world that had helped save theirs. Threx warriors found new homes, their traditions preserved and honored by a species they had once risked everything to protect. The galaxy watched as humanity rebuilt not just cities and fleets, but bonds. The stories of the Coalition of Flame became more than history lessons. They became the foundation of new alliances, a reminder that honor and loyalty were not forgotten virtues, but living forces that could unite even the most distant worlds. Children of many races learned the names of heroes from Earth, Threx and Valeri alike. And as new stars were born, so too was the promise that when darkness threatened again, humanity would answer not alone, but with old friends at their side. The galaxy had changed forever, shaped by the memory of fire and steel, but above all, by the simple truth that humanity never forgets. And when the stars called for aid, Earth would be there ready, fierce and loyal to the end.